Hey guys, it's your Opal Card Reader Mixtapian here, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been uploading for so long. Like, November's been a very dark month for this channel, and maybe for December as well, because as I'm recording this right now, it's November 24th, so you're probably gonna see this video until much more later. So you might be wondering why I haven't been uploading for so long. Well, if you saw my video where I talked about how like I was approached by a homeless woman, you would know that I've been attending this little course recently, and I've been enjoying it so much recently. Like, I love it so much. Like, right now it's November 24th, so that means I still have a week left of this course. But I don't know, I've just been fucking loving it. Because at best, I thought I would just, walk into this course, tolerate it, and then just leave. But to look forward to going to the course and actually enjoy it, I didn't expect that at all. So I'm really excited to tell you guys, how's the course going so far, what is the course and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. So since I'm a job seeker, every 2 weeks I get paid money for looking for work. Usually I would just, apply for 20 jobs and then like send them proof that I did apply for 20 jobs. That's just pretty much been my life since like a while now, just getting some neat bucks. But since I've been looking for work for so long, my provider, my employment agency, they wanted me to attend this course. And when I was in the employment agency and when they told me that I have to attend this course, I felt really scared because they told me that the course is gonna like last for like 3 weeks and I have to attend there, 5 days a week generally. And I say generally because sometimes, they would give us day offs and all that. But yeah, I'm sitting in the employment agency and my provider, he gives me this little sticky note that tells me the address of this place. Thankfully it wasn't too far, it's like literally just 2 train stops away from where I live. And on the paper it said that the course is gonna start at November 13 and then it's gonna end at November 29. So in that time slot, that's when I have to attend this course. So I'm just gonna kind of divide the story into like days, so the transitions are like easier and it's like easier for me to tell the story. So the first day came around and I had to go to the place. I took the train from Guildford to Fairfield because that's where it is, and I got off the train. I pulled out my phone, I opened up Google Maps, and I googled the address that the guy gave me on the sticky note. The sticky note also said that it was in Suite 6. So I followed Google Maps to the address, and as I'm walking, I'm really nervous about the Suite 6 part of the address because I was very nervous that I wasn't gonna find it. Not the address, I wasn't worried about finding the address. I'm just worried that I won't find Suite 6 and I'm just worried that I'll be late or something. So I arrive at the building and I walk in, and how do I describe it? I might like draw up a map so I can kind of like visualize it for you guys, but I'll also do my best to, kind of describe it with words. So I walked into the building and there was this long hallway area. It was very echoey and the place was actually way bigger than it looked on the outside. Like on the outside it looked like a pretty small place, but on the inside, it just looks very big. And at this point, I don't even know where the fuck Suite 6 is, so I'm just walking down the hallway. So after I kind of walk to the end of the hallway area, I see these stairs to my right. So I go up the stairs and there it is, Suite 6. And I know because it literally had a sign that said Suite 6. So that was very relieving for me, I'm glad that they put that sign there. So I walk into Suite 6 and I see this lady on her computer, like it kind of looked like an office area. So I tell this lady, I'm here for the course, and she directs me to another room that was just right next to her. And when I walk into this room, how do I describe this room? This room, it had a long table and with chairs surrounding it. So it looked like a meeting room instead of like a classroom. So I walk in this room and I see a bunch of people just sitting down and chatting. Now for some reason, I have no idea why, like for some reason I thought there were a bunch of college kids using that room for like a group project or something. And when I walked in, I thought I was interrupting them or something. So I said to them, is this the course? And one of them's like, yeah, we're just waiting for the teacher. And that's when I realized, oh, dumbass, these are just other people from the course. These are your classmates, not fucking college kids using that room for a group project. It's crazy how social anxiety can come up with these crazy conclusions. So I just sat down and just waited for our teacher to arrive. There was also this girl, she when I walked into that room, she caught my eye the moment that I walked into that room. And the reason for that is because she she shockingly looks like my ex-girlfriend. Because both of them had piercings, both of them were chubby, and both of them, they kind of had a very similar voice too. Both of them even had like a similar fashion sense, so right away, like, I felt a mix of emotions. The only major difference between this girl and my ex is that my ex had dyed hair, this girl didn't. Actually, let's give a nickname for this girl. Let's call this girl Pira, because I will be talking about this girl a lot throughout this story. So I'm sitting down just waiting for the teacher to arrive. Occasionally other classmates would walk in, and soon after my teacher came in. Let's call this teacher Glinda, and she kind of looks like Glinda too from RWBY because both of them have blonde hair and glasses. So everyone is here, the teacher is here, and now class is in session. Sorry if I don't remember, the things that happened, because I'm not gonna remember, every single day and like every single detail of each day. So Glinda, she just basically introduces the course, what's it about, and to summarize it, it's an employability course. So what they do is they teach you how to write resumes, they teach you how to act during job interviews, and how to write cover letters, just basically teaching you, how to get a job. So after she like gives her little introduction to the course, we had to do this group project. So right away I felt really scared because I don't like fucking group projects. No one does, especially on the first day where you don't really know anyone at all. So the first thing we had to do is write a cover letter. So I was immediately partnered up with the people that were sitting next to me. I was partnered up with this guy on my right, and let's call this guy Ike. Oh, and just in case you were wondering, I'm not using real names, like I'm giving fake names, so like I respect their privacy. So I get partnered up with Ike, and I also get partnered up with this girl on my left, and let's call this girl Coco. We were also paired with another guy, and let's call this guy Marth. And don't get too attached to Marth because he actually ended up leaving the next day because he transferred to Parramatta, and along with a few other kids, because since the class was like a little too big, some kids were, they had to be transferred to Parramatta. Not forcefully though, I mean they volunteered. So but back to the story. So we started working on the group project, which is writing a cover letter. So me, Coco, Ike, and Marth all just kind of huddled around this big ass paper, and we started working on the cover letter. So Ike already had a cover letter. He actually had one written already on his phone, so we kind of just used that. We didn't use it word for word, but we just kind of used that as like an example. And damn, his cover letter was good. Ike is a 24-year-old guy with a Bachelor of Science. He specializes in microbiology. I honestly did like not a bad job at working at the cover letter, but the problem is I could not make eye contact with Coco. At least not fully. Like, don't get me wrong, like I did have to make eye contact with her and look at her in order to work on the fucking group project, but I was struggling to make eye contact with her because since I'm an incel, that's expected. But by the time the group project was finished, I kind of warmed up to her and just kind of got used to talking to her. So after the group project was finished, we stuck the cover letters like on the wall, and then our teacher Glinda, she went through it one by one, or at least I think she did. Like, I don't fucking know, I really don't remember much about the first day. So after we did the cover letters, we were all given these booklets, and in these booklets there were a lot of questions, just basic stuff at first, like just basic numerical and reading questions. So it was pretty basic stuff, so we all just finished it pretty quickly. So that's when me and Coco kind of started talking. Now during the conversation with me and Coco, I was surprisingly low in him as fuck. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, maybe the years of talking to Haboon e-girls finally kicked in, and now that like the skills that I've learned from that is like finally kicking in real life. But I was joking a lot and I made her laugh a lot, which is really surprising. I didn't expect that at all. So soon after that, it was time for our lunch break. Some people left the room to like go shopping at like Nita City or like whatever the fuck. Some people left the room to, just go for a walk. But for me, I didn't leave during the break. I just chilled in the room because it had air conditioning. So at this point, the only person in the room is me and this other guy who we will call Sun. So I was relaxing in the room, just chilling out, but I felt pretty bored. So I pulled out my phone and just started watching Smash Brothers clips. Thankfully, the place had free Wi-Fi, so that was pretty sweet. So as I'm watching Smash Brothers clips on my phone, he's like, "Hey, that sounds like Smash Brothers. And I'm like, yeah, do you play? And he's like, yeah. And it turns out he actually brought his 3DS and like a few other games, including Smash, like on the first day. He doesn't play Smash competitively, but it was still like really relieving. Like I still felt very happy that I'm talking about Smash Brothers. So I sit next to him and we just start talking. Sun is a 25-year-old guy who plays Pokemon Sun and Moon, and he just likes Pokemon in general. He started playing Smash, and then after one match, I asked him if I could play, and he let me. So after that, one of the office ladies came in and told us we have to go outside because I don't know, for some reason they just wanted that room for some reason. So me and Sun, we just sit outside the room. I mean, we sit outside the building, and I just continued playing Smash. When I told him my age, he was like really surprised. I was surprised when he first told his age as well. I'm pretty sure Sun was like the oldest guy at the course. When I was sitting next to Sun outside the building and I'm like playing Smash, I remember saying something like, I never knew I would be playing Super Smash Brothers on the first day in this course. Which is true, like, playing Smash was like the last thing that I expected from this course. I fucking played Smash on the first day. So I think I'm really comfortable, you know, talking to Sun. Actually, I think out of everyone in the course, I think I'm definitely most comfortable with Sun. He's very talkative and outgoing, which is partly why I named him Sun, like from Ruby. So not much happened on this day. I remember arriving there pretty early, so I was sitting on this bench that was across the building. But then I saw Sun, you know, just waiting to cross the road, so I walked up to him and said hello to him. So me and Sun went to the building together. We walked up the stairs and we saw Pyrrha sitting down outside of Suite 6. Pyrrha and Sun were talking, but I didn't think I talked that much because I was pretty shy. And plus I didn't really have a reason to talk to Pyrrha anyway because we never really spoke during the course since Ike sits between us. So finally Suite 6 opens up and we all walk into the classroom. So we were told that Glinda would no longer be with us and that a teacher named Professor Peach would replace her instead. And that's a fake name, by the way. So Professor Peach was meant to be our replacement teacher, but it turned out that she was stuck in traffic. So Peach didn't end up coming at all. So one of the office ladies just said that we can go home. So on this day, I walk into the building just to go up the stairs like usual. But this time, Sun wasn't there. The only person that was sitting outside of Suite 6 was Pyrrha. So I sat down and just started fucking around on my phone. So then Pyrrha started off the conversation. I believe she started off the conversation by saying how, like, you know, Sun is usually here early. Oh, I wonder where Sun is. So then after that, we actually had a real conversation for the first time. We talked about how fucked our sleep schedules were and how tired we were. I don't really remember what else we talked about, but we still had a conversation nonetheless. So then my other classmates came in, and then soon Sun, he came as well. And then Suite 6 opened up. And then we walked into the classroom. We walked in expecting to see Professor Peach, but instead we saw this old guy. Let's call this old guy Professor Ozpin. So everyone sat down in class and class was in session. When Ozpin spoke, I remember Sun, he said something like, oh, got a bit of an accent there. And then I think Ozpin like explained how like he's Irish. Professor Ozpin is a guy in his 50s or 60s. He doesn't work directly for the employability course. I think he's an employer himself. Like, he actually has a job, and I believe he works in hospitality. Now, at first, I was really worried that I wasn't gonna get along with Ozpin since I was more used to Glinda, but actually, I ended up liking Ozpin way more. He's pretty blue-pilled though. I remember during class, I think he opened up his sentence with something along the lines of, now, I don't want to sound sexist, but now I thought Ozpin was gonna be based and like throw black-pilled remarks here and there, but like I said, it turns out he's very blue-pilled. Now Ozpin, he said something like, if a woman works like a very laborious job, you know, he thinks that's like weird, and that, you know, that woman should just work at like a job that's more suitable. Now don't get me wrong, he does agree that women should be allowed to work laborious jobs, but he's just saying that it just looks weird. He always went on about how beautiful women are and that there is no such thing as an ugly woman or something like that. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he's a bit blue-pilled, but I don't really blame him though. The dude is like 50 or 60, so he grew up in the pre-Tinder era. So he's a bit sexist, but in favor of the blue pill. I still respect him nonetheless. I actually enjoy listening to him talk. It's like watching a ramble video. But despite his blue pill nature, he was still pretty fucking based. Like, there was this one time this one girl was like like on her phone for some reason. And then Ozpin asked like who she was on the phone with. And then she said, oh, Centrelink. And then Ozpin was like, boyfriend? And then she said again, no, Centrelink. And then Ozpin was like, do you have a boyfriend? Now I'm fucking speechless, dude. What the fuck? That was like the most low inhib shit that I've ever seen on that day. So then he proceeds to ask everyone in the class, one by one, if they had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So as each student gave their answer, he finally reached to me, and then I said, pfft, I wish. Now, I didn't expect this to like make anyone laugh, but the whole class just started fucking dying in laughter. And it felt pretty good because I don't think I made this many people laugh all at once. But I think right at that moment, I think that joke set the precedent that like I'm like the lonely virgin of this class. So not even a week into this course, I pretty much already earned the reputation of that lonely virgin guy who jokes about being a virgin. Which is true because I would always make innuendos about being lonely and not having a girlfriend. Because I remember Ozpin saying, he didn't say this on this day, but he said something like, treat your job like it's your boyfriend or girlfriend. And I'm like, both of them don't exist anyway. And that shit made people laugh too. So after that, it was time for our lunch break, and then everyone went outside the building. Some people went for walks or like whatever. So during the break, I was just hanging out with Pyrrha, Sun, Ike, and Coco. So me and Pyrrha, we started talking about like relationships and stuff, and she told me about her past relationships and all that. So Pyrrha is 20 years old. She has a boyfriend and she's a huge Pokemon fan. She even had like a little Pokemon bag. She also has an Articuno tattoo on her back on the upper left. I honestly enjoyed talking to Pyrrha. I struggled to keep my eyes off her though because she really looks like my fucking ex, like, god damn. I even showed her like a photo of my ex, but she seems to disagree that she looks like my ex. I didn't show her on that day, I'm pretty sure like I showed her like later on, but yeah, I just thought I'd just point that out. So like during class, Pyrrha actually asked for my Facebook, but at first I didn't know what she was doing because like what Pyrrha did was like she gave me her phone like with Facebook open, and I'm like, what? Oh, what's this? Because I thought she was like showing me a meme or something like that, because that's what she usually does. But then Ike, he's like, she's asking for your Facebook, bro. At first I really didn't want to because I was just really nervous, but I just gave it anyway because it's like, I don't know, why not? So now it's time for our break, and I think this took place when the break was about to be finished. So we're all sitting outside Suite 6, just sitting on the floor like we usually do. So this lady walks out of one of the suites because like, I'm pretty sure she works for like, I don't know, Suite 5 or something. She doesn't work for Suite 6. So she leaves one of the suites and she walks up to me and she says something like, use common sense, there are people leaving the doors in the hallway and blah blah blah. Just basically fucking roasting me for like sitting in the, like outside the Suite 6 area. And that shit hit me hard, man. Like that shit was so fucking humiliating. So then I apologized, and then that worker lady just went on with her day. So then Ozpin walks in because our break is over and it's time for class. So as I walk into class, I joke with Pyrrha how like, oh yeah, that shit was so humiliating. My self-esteem is fucking over. I'm just gonna be quiet for the rest of the 3 weeks. And since I was wearing a hoodie, I like pulled the strings to like cover my face with my hoodie. Like kind of like what Kenny does from South Park whenever he's scared. He like pulls the string to like make the hoodie, you know, cover his face. But then Pyrrha, she said something like, oh, you know, that lady is a cunt. Like, oh, fuck this. Okay, maybe she didn't say, oh, fuck that lady. But she made it very clear that she doesn't like that lady. So then I said to her, no, you know, I think I kind of had it coming because I was kind of blocking the way, so I think she had every right to be mad at me. I think I was definitely in the wrong there. By the time we were all sat down, I remember saying something like, she hurt my feelings, and then I pulled the string on my hood again. So then I put my head down on the desk, but I put my head down in like a joking way. She didn't genuinely fucking bother me, but it was still humiliating nonetheless. So as my head is down on the table, she's like, oh, and then she literally fucking, she like hugged me, and she got up from her seat and just hugged me from behind. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a full-on hug, it was just a very light one. So after that, it was time for our lunch break. We were sitting on the bench that was outside the building, because usually during the break we would just chill right outside the building, but I wanted to sit on the bench because I was scared of being roasted again. So I just walked to the bench and just sat down there instead. Pyrrha, Sun, Coco, and Ike followed me. So I I sat down with Coco and Pira while Sun and Ike were just standing up. Now because the lady from before like roasted me, I was still kinda affected by it. Before I was like low inhib as fuck, but after I got roasted, my shy and sensitive side kinda came out. So the result of this was like a weird combination of low and high inhib. So I felt outgoing, but at the same time, I was sentimental if the situation was right. I even remember saying that I have social anxiety, and then Sun said to me, "Do you even know what social anxiety is?" I think Sun asked me that because he genuinely believed that I'm a confident and talkative person, which isn't true at all. I'm not confident at all. I think I was only confident because I just warmed up to Sun and Pira. I just got used to talking to them throughout the course. But I had a pretty autistic moment during that break. So you see, Coco, she had like this really cool fur coat thingy. It was very fashionable. And she was asking everyone if like they want to feel her fur coat thingy. And I think everyone did, but when Coco asked me, I felt very nervous about touching her fur coat. So I felt really nervous about the thought of touching this girl. I went to an all-boys high school, so talking to girls just feels weird, let alone touching them. I should have just said no thanks. I mean, I did say no, but the problem is, I said no in the most autistic way possible. So when she asked me to touch her fur coat thingy, I'm like, I'll take a pass. So after I said this, yeah, get this. This is what Coco does. She smiles as if like she's about to laugh at me. She turns to her right to Pira because Pira was sitting next to her. And then she's like, oh, when I asked Robert to touch my fur coat thingy, he's like, I'll take a pass. So I think I learned a very important lesson on that day. If a woman wants you to touch her fur coat thingy, just say no. Don't say, I'll take a pass. Because now she will occasionally quote that quote during class. Like, I'm being serious. Like, during class, Coco would always randomly say out loud, oh, I'll take a pass, because like she wants to mess with me or something. So now whenever she says that, I'm like, dude, stop. Thankfully, she can't say it to my face anymore because when the Parameta kids, transferred to Parameta, she moved to the back. So at least I don't have to deal with that shit close up. So I'm chilling on the bench and then soon after, they want to go shopping, but I didn't feel like going shopping because I was just roasted by that lady, like the worker lady. So I decided to just chill out at the bench while everyone went shopping. At first they really wanted me to go with them, but I was still a bit moody from the roast. So then they're like, alright, then they went shopping. But before they went, this is what Pira did. Before Pira left, she like patted me on the fucking head. What the fuck? Like when she patted me on the head, I think she said something, I'm not really sure what it was. When she fucking patted me, I felt so fucking Chad-like. What the fuck? I don't think I can handle this kind of physical contact, man. I know it's not much to like the average person, but since I'm an incel, just shit like that is just enough to make my day. So she pets me and then the rest of my classmates, they just go shopping to Nita City. And Nita City is just a shopping center in Fairfield. It's just literally like, I think it's right across the road from the employability course. So soon after the break ends, we go to class, we finish class, and then the class finishes and then everyone gets to go home. So I leave the building, walk to Fairfield Station, take the train. Something really messed up happens to me on the train, which I've already made a video on. I'll leave a link in the description, but the name of that video is My Encounter with a Female True Cell on the Train or something like that. Now at the time of this incident, I felt really scared, but now that I look back at it, it's pretty fucking funny. Like, I don't know, maybe I just should have gotten a number, we could have smashed at Guildford Hotel. I shouldn't have given her the $20. I mean, she's a homeless woman, she can put that ass to work. She could suck dick and earn $20. I should have just said, no, you want me to suck my dick first. If the homeless person was like a man instead, I wouldn't feel as bad because unlike homeless women, homeless men can't prostitute themselves for profit. Homeless men can't put their hole to work because their hole has no sexual market value at all. I never thought I'd be joking about that shit because when I made that video about the homeless woman, I was like, this isn't a joke, take this seriously, take me seriously. But now it's like, It's pretty fucking funny. I'm really glad that we reached a point where I can joke about that incident. I thought it was gonna stay for me for a long time, but no, it's just fucking funny. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting Friday. So when I got home, Pura, she messaged me on Facebook, and I told her about the homeless woman that I encountered. Well, actually, I didn't tell her because what I did was I actually sent the recording to her, but I obviously cut out the black-pilled parts. But she couldn't open the recording for some reason, so I just told her, on the following Monday. Pura actually messaged me on the weekend as well, so that was pretty cool to have female attention for once. But she has a boyfriend, so I'm not gonna catch feelings for her or anything. I don't remember much about this day, so let's just move on to day 6. So on this day, not much really happened during class, but after class, me, Sun, and Pura, we just decided to hang out at the shopping center because, we actually get along really well. So we hung out at Nita City. We bought some food. I had like this little pizza bread thing. It's very tasty. Pura had a pork roll, and I didn't think Sun bought anything. So after that, we just hang out at EB Games for a bit, and then it was time to go home. So the thing that happened after we hung out, it was pretty interesting. So Pura, Sun, and myself, we were waiting to cross the road. Just waiting for that pedestrian light to turn green. And then Pura's like, do you want a hug? Now normally this would be pretty fucking weird, but the reason why she asked that is because on the break, she actually asked everyone in the class, if they want to hug her or not. She said it's because she's a very huggy person or something like that. So when we were waiting to cross the road and Pura asked me if I wanted to hug her, I'm like, yes? So I said it in a very unsure way, but I sounded unsure, but deep down, I definitely wanted to hug her. Like, I'm an incel, bro. Like, if someone like Pura were to ask me to hug her, I would definitely do it. But since the question caught me so off guard, my answer came out like, yes? Now I know some of you might think, oh, Mixtapian, you fucking normie. You goddamn woman hugging haver, you. No, it's even though she hugged me, there was still a black pill in that hug. Cause you see, when I said yes, I turned to face Pura, opened up my arms to, welcome the hug. But she didn't hug me straight away. And I didn't want to just, go up to her and just hug her myself because you need to remember, we're living in the year 2018, so I don't want to get Me Too'd, like I don't want to get reported to the police, So my plan in my head was, okay, I'm not going to hug her unless she comes up to me and hugs me, because I don't want to get Me Too'd or like arrested, right? Moments go by and then she finally hugs me. And boy, oh fucking boy, that hug felt good. It nearly made me cry, if I'm being honest. Because when I finished hugging her, I covered my mouth with both of my hands, and in my head I'm thinking, what the fuck? And then Pura said something like, oh no, did I remind you of your ex or something? Because I told her that, she really reminds me of my ex. And the funny thing is, she told me that I remind her of her ex. Not in terms of appearance, but just like, my general demeanor. So the pedestrian light finally turns green and then we all start walking to Fairfield Station. And the entire walk there, I felt very happy and moody at the same time. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I was still processing the hug that I just received. So me and Pura, we sat down at Fairfield Station. I don't know where Sun went. I think he had to like go somewhere or something. So it was just me and Pura just sitting at the station. And she could tell that I really looked sad. And I looked sad because of the hug that I just received. Like, I don't know why, but that hug, it should have made me feel happy, but just made me sad instead. So Pura, she notices how sad I am and she's like, just tell me, what's bothering you or something like that. And I remember opening up the conversation with, she doesn't exist. And when I said that, I was referring to the girl of my dreams. But I didn't think Pura would comprehend what I meant because I was just mostly just rambling to myself. But she understood. Pura said to me, yes, she does. And then I'm like, no, she doesn't exist. Not in the year 2018. And she's like, what do you mean? And at this point, I can tell that this conversation, if this conversation continues, I will spit some black-pilled shit. So then I just say to her, no, don't worry about it. It's nothing. Just don't worry. It's related to my secret. I'm just worried that you'll slap me if I just tell you. Because the thing is, like, During the break, Pyrrha and Coco, they wanted to know, what my ideal girl is. And my ideal girl is, a black-pilled woman. But I wasn't gonna go out and actually tell them, oh yeah, my ideal woman is a black-pilled woman. So instead of saying that, I just told them, no, don't worry, it's too personal, blah, blah, blah. I just made it very clear that I didn't want to tell them, because if I told them, they'll be really offended. During that break, I also said to Ike, what's the first thing that a woman notices about a man, like a potential partner? So then I said, it's not personality, that's for sure. So I said to Ike, the first thing that a woman notices is face, bone structure, and shoes. Those were my exact words. But back to the story. So, me and Pyrrha were sitting at Fairfield Station on the bench, waiting for our train. I tell her that my ideal girl doesn't exist in the year 2018. I told her that I have a secret in which, if I tell her that secret, she will slap me. And that secret is, of course, me being an incel, a black-pilled incel. So Pyrrha was really curious about the secret. She really wanted to know. She said, don't worry, I can take it. So I said to her, I won't tell you the full secret, but I will tell you some of it. And so I said to her, remember how I asked Ike, what's the first thing that a woman notices about a man? And then Pyrrha's like, yeah. So then I said, face, bone structure, and shoes. And then she asked me, why shoes? And then I told her, you see, shoes is an indication of wealth. If you look at my shoes, it will tell the average woman that I'm a broke-ass person and I get money from Centrelink. My ideal woman will see me beyond my ugly face. And I told her that that woman doesn't exist in the year 2018. And then I think she said something along the lines of, yeah, I know people, today, they're kind of superficial, but she does exist, your ideal woman. But then I said again, no, she doesn't. Not in the year 2018. So then our train arrived and then we sat down. I started educating her about lookism and how personality doesn't matter and how looks is the only thing that matters to women. My basic message to her was if an ugly man wants to find a woman to date, it will be very hard for him because women will be turned off by that ugly man before he even has a chance to show his personality. So my basic message was ugly men don't have a chance in the year 2018. But then Pyrrha said to me, well, I think you're attractive. And then I just fucking bursted out in laughter. I laughed at her fucking face. And then she's like, what? I'm serious. And then I said to her, haha, you're so funny, bro. Comedy genius. The reason why I bursted out in laughter is because, one, it felt good that a woman called me attractive. And two, that's just fucking unbelievable. So when I laughed, it was kind of what are you, fucking stupid? So then I got off the train because it was my stop. I said my goodbyes and I left the train in a pretty good mood. It's not every day you get called attractive by a girl, but she's probably lying. I think she only said I'm attractive so I feel better. So that day was pretty interesting because when I arrived at Fairfield Station, I actually saw two friends from high school. So let's call this guy Link. And Link, he actually had a Zwei shirt from Ruby, which I thought was pretty cool. See, at first I wasn't sure if it was a Zwei shirt, so I asked Link, hey, is that a Zwei shirt? And he's like, yeah. So then after that, I saw another old friend from high school who we will call Mewtwo. So Mewtwo walked in and I kind of talked to Link and Mewtwo for a bit. So then after that, I said my goodbyes and went to the course. So I'm chilling out at the bench that's outside the building. The class starts at 9 a.m. but it wasn't 9 a.m. yet, so I'm just chilling on the bench. But then later on, Pyrrha, she arrives too. But since it wasn't time for class yet, we just decided to, hang out at Nita City. Cause Pyrrha, she wanted to buy a new charger, so we went to Big W. She bought her charger, and then we went back. So then we go back to class, class begins. Not much happened during class, just the usual, I don't know, Pyrrha would show me a meme or whatever the fuck. Pyrrha would always show me a meme, but then she would relate it to me somehow. Because usually the memes that she would show me, it's related to loneliness. I remember this one meme Pyrrha showed me. It's a Pokemon meme, but instead of oh, Pidgey was caught, it was feelings were caught. So she showed that to me and she was like, oh yeah, that's you. She also showed me this video on her Facebook feed or something. And it was basically a kangaroo jacking off. And then Pyrrha's like, oh yeah, that's you at home. But other than that, not much really happened. But I remember Professor Ozpin, he was like, did you get struck by lightning or something? Because like, he was making a remark about how like, oh, you're so much confident now, before you were really shy. And he said something like, my outgoing nature, it suits me. I also exchanged phone numbers with Sun and Pyrrha, because I remember making a remark like, oh man, when this course ends, I'm gonna miss you guys so much. But then it's like, oh wait, we have phones, why don't we just exchange phone numbers? Sun doesn't have Facebook though, he kinda like sworn off from social media. But I got his number and I think that's good enough for me. So after class finishes, me, Pyrrha and Sun were walking to Fairfield Station like usual. So then me and Pyrrha, we hop on the train, and Sun, I don't know where he went. And well, let's just say something really fucking amazing happened. So let me just cut right to the fucking chase. We fucking hugged again, dude. So this is how it went. I asked her for the hug by saying, hey, I was wondering if you and I, wanna, and then like I motioned with my arms. It's like a hugging motion. And then like I hug myself because I wanted to hug her. And then she's like, oh, and then we hug. It was fucking awesome, dude. Oh, and for the record, her boyfriend said like she's okay with her hugging other guys. Like, I actually asked her on Facebook later that day, are you sure you're okay with hugging other guys? Because I don't want to ruin relationships. And she said that it's fine. Like, her and her boyfriend, they've already discussed the boundaries, and like her boyfriend is okay with her hugging other guys. So that's good. And then when it was my stop, before I like left the train, like I wanted to hug her again. So before I left, I'm like, alright, I'll see you later. And then like I opened up my arms and then we hugged again, and then I left the train. I ran home like really fucking excitedly. I was very shocked and happy. And when I got home, Pyrrha messaged me on Facebook, and we talked about the confession that I was gonna say, like my black pilled confession. Cause remember how I told Pyrrha I don't want to say the full thing, I'm worried that if I tell you, you're gonna slap me. We talked about that. And I told her that if she really wants to know, it's something that I'm gonna have to tell her on the final day of the course. Because if I tell her that I'm a black pilled incel, like right now, it'll make the course really awkward. Because remember, I haven't finished the course yet. I have like 1 week left. Because right now, as I'm recording this, it's November 24. My final day is on the 29th. But yeah, that's what we talked about on Facebook. She thinks she's gonna take it so well. Like, she's so confident that she's not gonna be weirded out by my confession. When I tell her that I'm a black pilled incel and I browse r/brain cells, whew, that's gonna hit her so fucking hard. She'll never know what hit her. But to be fair, she probably doesn't know what an incel is. I mean, most people don't know what it is, so. But if she doesn't know what it is, I'll explain it to her. But she did tell me that even if I murdered someone, she would still be fine with that. Like, she wouldn't care, so who knows, maybe she will take it well. So on the final day of the course, I will tell her that I'm a black pilled incel. So yeah, that's how my course has been going so far. And man, I fucking love it. Just the people that I met, they're just so fucking amazing. Especially Sun and Pyrrha. Alright, which one of you government niggas came up with this idea? Nah, the government knew what they were doing. Like, let's just get a bunch of NEETs, let's get a bunch of job seekers, let's put them into like this class, and let's fucking emulate a slice of life anime. Fellas, this is slice of life anime maxing at its finest. Like, whenever I go into this course, it feels like a fucking slice of life anime. Hello, this is Mixtapian. I did it. I told her everything. I told a girl in real life that I'm an incel. She knows. She knows everything now. She took it well. Very well. In fact, she even said herself that she hates females. She said that. Using that word, female. What the fuck? And we hugged right after. The hug, it was longer than usual. Probably the longest hug that we've ever had. I would say it lasted about a minute or two. Now that doesn't sound much, but if you count to 60 seconds, you'll find that even 1 minute is pretty long. When I was hugging her, I just kept saying, thank you, Thank you. You're such a good friend. I even remember saying, holy shit, I'm an incel and I'm hugging a girl. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Nigga, lock me up and throw away the keys. I don't know how I did it. Luck. That's all I can tell you. If you ask me, oh, Mixtapian, how did you do it? How? Luck. Just be lucky theory. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A gangster that hugs a girl after you told them that you're an incel. I also got her to open up the notes app on her phone, and I wrote down, look these up, and I typed in incel, and I typed in the black pill, and I also gave her a link to brain cells. I educated her about lookism. I told her about black-pilled women and how, that's my ideal goal. But the problem is, they're really hard to find, so I explained that to her. So I'm not gonna pursue Pira because she has a boyfriend, but if I can black-pill her, I think that should be enough to black-pill more women. Anyway, thank you for watching my disease-ridden recording. It's over.